I am God, and this is a video for Christy Thompson. So, my plan with this video is to explain who I am and try to figure out how we move forward with this, because well, it would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to figure out what is the truth and what is, what's really going on, what's happening. So how am I going to start this? I haven't scripted this, by the way. My name is Grant Salvin. I have a Facebook page in that name, Grant Salvin. I have 0 friends, 0 followers on there, but I have tens of thousands of Facebook posts. The reason I do that is to protect my energy, because tarot readers and people, they reflect me, and that reflection creates a transfer of energy. People keep casting spells, magic, and I'm God. So I expose liars, I expose people who are trying to steal energy from me. That's why I do it. That's a short explanation, okay? So obviously there's a lot of things I could say, but I don't want to make this video 50 hours long. I can't. I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel, which is it's called The Lord, the God of Your Fathers. I'm God. I was Jesus Christ. Now, the interesting thing about Christy Thompson, I hope you watch this video, but the thing is, your name is a magic name. Not to mention, your channel. So how do I connect to you? Well, in various ways, okay? I have an aunt called Christine Neal, and she's evil, and she is annoying me. She's a problem for me. That's one connection. A lot of people who are called Chris or Christopher or Christine, and people that I've known, I've met. I battle the world. The world is always battling me. It rejects me and does witchcraft against me, and I'm battling for my life, basically. It's not good. I mean, okay, look, I'm a smoker. Tiny Turtle Tarot? That's Christy Thompson. That's your Christy Thompson. I'm speaking to you. Your tarot channel is called Tiny Turtle Tarot. Okay? Well, see this. These are cigarette filters, okay? It's called Swan filters. I've been smoking for 20 odd years. Well, more than 20 years. You see, there's a tiny little turtle there on the packet. You see that? You see that clearly? There's a tiny little turtle there. It's a warning saying, plastic and filter, don't throw your filter away. Well, this is the thing, because I smoke, and obviously I'll demonstrate that to you with a cigarette. I smoke tobacco. It's a magic thing. It's fire, it's magic. Filter. Well, the thing is, filter, filter, it's a sex magic thing. Because, for instance, or in the Bible it says, be filled with the Holy Spirit. Be filled. anyways, I won't go into too much detail with that. Not yet. I don't want, because I don't want to get lost in this conversation. I want to talk about what I really want to talk about. So, Christy Thompson, I listen to your videos, and you seem to be for me rather than against me, although I'm very aware of how appearances can be deceiving. So I am very guarded. The thing is, I tell people I'm God, and they don't believe me. They don't believe me. And, think of the word believe. Well, that's the thing, right? People abandon me. What does it mean to leave someone? Believe. 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 Believe God. Yeah, run away. Run away. Oh, we believe God. Do you understand how awkward my situation is? I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. I've made hundreds of videos talking about it. By the way, if you look at my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, it might come across as a little bit crazy. The images I post on Facebook and stuff like that, it might look totally bonkers. But you have to understand, I'm defending myself against witchcraft. Okay? So be careful how you interpret what I say and what I post, because it's very awkward. So look, tarot, well, obviously, smoking a cigarette, what's the filter for? Well, the filter collects the tar, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So, see, my problem is that tarot readers, they keep talking about me. People, that's the thing, people, they go on YouTube, they make, videos for various zodiac signs, and but what they do is they take parts of my story, they mimic me, they impersonate me, they twist the story. They attack me, they twist my story, they make me the enemy, and they make my enemy the victim, and they twist it around, and they put, they swap things around. So it's to keep me stuck. I turned 38 years old yesterday. I've been fighting this for a long time, and I've really had enough. I'm very unhappy about it. And I'm kind of reaching out for some help, really. What am I expecting? Well, probably, I don't know. Whatever happens, right? I can only try. So I'm probably going to send Christy Thompson some money to try to get some. But that's the only way. How else am I supposed to contact you? How am I supposed to get in contact with you? Because you're constantly having a conversation with me, but you're recording it, uploading it to your YouTube channel, and everyone else listens to it as well. I'd rather have a private conversation with you. That would be cool. Yeah, it would. Don't have to let everybody know. This isn't about me trying to impress you. It's not about me trying to seduce you. Really? What it's really about is I'm God, and I need you to know that. That's what I want. I want you to know who I am. I need you to know who I am. I would like you to know who I am. It would be helpful if you knew who I am. Anyway, I've got tarot cards, I've got oracle cards. Christy, one thing I will say to you is you don't totally understand tarot cards. And that goes for basically all tarot readers. I am God, I understand things better. That's how it is. I mean, I'm not trying to put you down or anything like that. I'm just saying that the purpose of tarot cards is, well, the real purpose, it's evil. You know, it hides very evil magic. You know, when you hear of, you know, have you heard of Freemasons and, you know, things like sex trafficking and child abuse and things like that? Well, you see, tarot cards are used as a weapon to attack me and to hide those types of things, because they mix all these different ideas together in a card, and everything gets twisted around and it hides stuff, and people don't interpret things properly, and it's... Anyway, I will do a tarot reading for you and I'll explain it to you as I go through it. Okay, so I'll use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck for this reading. So, a reading for Christy Thompson. I mean, before I start, actually, I should mention that the first girl I ever kissed was the daughter of a man called Daley Thompson. And his daughter is called Rachel Thompson. And I think the boyfriend she had, the boyfriend she had before me was a guy called Chris. Okay, yeah. Moses is here. Okay, I'm surrounded by ghosts, by the way. When I tell people that, they don't believe me, but yeah, it's true. I have ghosts all over me, from head to toe. I feel they touch me from head to toe. It's a bizarre, it's very freaky. Yeah. So the first girl I ever kissed was a girl called Rachel Thompson. And that's all I ever did. You know, I kissed her. I got separated from, well, rumors started, and, you know, rumors were, stories came out from, you know, friends back then. They said that she was cheating on me, basically. So I ended up going with another girl, and I lost my virginity to her, a girl called Ashlyn. But anyway, I'm not going to get into too much detail, okay? But that's one of the reasons why I have a connection with the name Thompson, okay? Not to mention Christ, okay? Christy. And obviously tie is part of your name, right? You know how you if someone ties a rope, well, you know, your name is like Christ tie. You know, kind of like, well, Christian, you know, Christian. In fact, you know, how do people say Christian? They say Christian, right? They don't say Christian, they say Christian. So, you know, the sound, it matters. Anyways, now that I've mentioned that, I'll do the tarot reading, okay? And actually, before I do this, if you do watch my other videos and I sound really angry, I swear a lot, and I might seem obnoxious, I apologize, but please understand how mad and frustrated I am. Okay? So, you know, I kind of regret how angry and obnoxious I might have seemed in my older videos, but that's rage. That's me venting my rage. It has to come out somehow. So, anyway, let me do a reading for you, okay? Because it'd be a good thing to know, wouldn't it? Okay, Christy Thompson. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Okay, first card. We've got Queen of Wands. And then we got Eight of Swords. Okay, so Christy, when you talk about the Eight of Swords, or the Ten of Swords, or you talk about the devil, when tarot readers, they like to talk about this card. They see that there's this woman, and she's trapped. Okay, she's trapped. But they say, oh look, there are those swords next to her that she can use. She could tie the rope. She could she could set herself free very easily. But the question I put to you is, well, where's the card in the tarot deck for someone who is trapped, who can't escape? Does that card exist? According to you, it doesn't. So where does that leave people who can't escape? Do you hear what I'm saying? So, be careful how you interpret cards, okay? Because you don't know who you're talking about. You don't know who you might be talking about. Yeah? Now, this is an interesting magic card because obviously 8, well, I eat food, okay? And that's the thing. People use magic against what I eat. They act like I'm invisible, but my food is actually me. It's a very strange thing. I've explained it a lot in the past. Anyways, moving on. Let me just carry on with this reading because I want to see where this is going. Okay, so okay, got 2 cards here. 3 of Wands, the Star. And then we got the Lovers card and the World. And we got the 9 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. And we got the Chariot, Strength, King of Pentacles, the Empress. Okay, so let me stop there. Okay, and we got 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Okay, So, I'm God. The world has hurt me, it's betrayed me, it's attacked me since day one, since the day I was born. And before I was, obviously I've lived many lives. It's not only this life, I was Jesus Christ. I've lived other lives as well, which, I will talk about. I've talked about it in other videos already. So let's start off here. We've got the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Swords. So, this is talking about you, the Queen of Wands, Eight of Swords, trapped or feeling trapped. Something like that, okay? Or maybe this has got something to do with well, this is the thing. People do sex magic. They do BDSM. And that, it's an attack. When people do that, they're not conscious of that they're actually attacking me. Three of Wands. Well, if you ever look at the number 3, you might notice it looks kind of like a butt. But the three of Wands is Going out to do something. It's setting out, is doing stuff, right? It's doing something. And then there's this Star card, right? There's the Star card. And this is the thing. I'm the light of the world. I'm God. And the thing is that people want to be stars. People want to be stars, superstars, rich, famous, have lots of friends and all that kind of stuff. Jesus said, if you're friends with the world, well, you're my enemy. Sort of a thing, right? So, just be aware of what you're doing and, how it might, what you're doing, it may actually be a problem. But anyways, we've got the Eight of Swords, Three of Wands, the Star, and then we got the Lovers, okay? The Lovers card. So, the Lovers card's a very interesting card, isn't it? Because the story of Adam and Eve. They betrayed me, God. There's this tree with the snake in it, and, that's the thing. The Lovers, is this really a good card for me, or is it a bad card? But anyways, the Lovers, and then we got the World card. So, like I said, the Lovers, the World, Nine of Cups, Seven of Cups, the Chariot, Strength, King of Pentacles, the Empress. Well, I could interpret this and, what's this really saying? I don't know if you've been involved with, well, that's the thing, your name is Chris Ty. So, Eight of Swords, that's someone who's, she's been tied. Do you understand? The Star card, Three of Wands, the Star. The Lovers, the World. I know, Christy, that you say that you don't seem to be in a relationship. That's what you say. I don't know how long I don't know, obviously I don't know all the details. I mean, I can find out. Well, I could try to find out. But what I want. I haven't been with my last girlfriend. I separated from her when I was 24. I'm 38 now. So I wouldn't say she wasn't really the last woman I was with. The last woman I was with, I probably would have been about 25, 25, 26, something like that. It was a long time ago. Back then, I didn't know that I'm God. I only figured this out in the last 5 or so years. Okay. What happened was in 2019, I got attacked by evil spirits, demons, and I saw really crazy things. I saw what I would call evil angels, right? It's a long story. Okay, so let me just carry on here. So, I mean, the reason that happened to me is because the world is conspiring to take heaven, right? The world is conspiring, evil demons, spirits, they're trying to set themselves up in heaven, right? That's what they want to do. And it's my job to send them where they need to go, okay? So the Queen of Wands, let me put this cigarette down. Queen of Wands, 8 of Swords, 3 of Wands, the Star, the Lovers, the World, 9 of Cups, 7 of Cups, the Chariot, Strength, King of Pentacles, the Empress. Well, I'm attracted to you. I won't lie. Do you want to be my Empress? Is what I'm asking. Do you want to be the Empress? It's your choice. Okay? If you say no, well, all I can do is move on, right? I will find somebody else. This is the thing, right? Because I'm in the 3D realm, right? 3D realm, right? Well, what number is that? 3. Yeah? D is 4, isn't it? 4 is the Emperor. Do you understand? But the 3D is written 3 is before D. Jesus said, what was he said? Before Abraham was, I am. Before. 4. Yeah, you get it? Around the throne of God is the 4 living creatures. Yeah? You know what the forest is? Yeah, the forest. Anyway. So, I think, these cards, what I'm basically asking is, will you be my Empress? Okay? I think that's what these cards are trying to say. Okay, yeah. Okay. I need to get my life organized. My life is a real mess. And I've been sat fighting this battle for the last 3 or 4 years. I haven't really had any time for myself. I haven't had any time to sort out my life. So, I need to get ready for what's ahead, right? I need to get ready for the future. I can't keep sitting in this chair. It's killing me. So, and I need to quit smoking as well. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm in my dressing gown. I've all my laundry. I've got mountains of laundry to deal with. I've got mountains of rubbish to deal with. My house is filthy. Because I haven't had any time to myself. Because I go to bed and I wake up whenever I do. You know, I sleep during the day a lot of the time, and I'm awake all night. I rarely go outside. I usually spend 16, 17, 18 hours a day at my computer, at this desk, sitting in this chair, going through all the YouTube videos, looking at what all the people are saying about me and fighting back, basically. It's been a very difficult journey for me. So, if you're not aware, you might want to know, well, I was born, my birthday was yesterday. So let me tell you a little bit about myself quickly, okay? Just a few interesting facts. So I was born on the 14th of November, 1987. You might notice that a tarot deck has 78 cards, right? Usually. Obviously 78 is 87 the other way around. My biological dad is called Charles. Okay? You might notice that yesterday was Charles III. Yeah, isn't it interesting? He's Charles III. Yeah, he's not the emperor. I'm the emperor. I'm God. But Charles is the name of my biological dad. My biological mom, she's dead now. She died in 2021. And this house, well, there's an inheritance that's been left to me. But Christine, my aunt, who's the executor of my mom's will, is being very, very witchy about how she is going about things. She's trying to attack me with witchcraft and trying to get me to sign my destiny away. And I can't sign the papers she's trying to get me to sign because I know exactly what she's doing. Her husband, Christine's husband, is called Donald. Okay, so Donald used to be Abraham and Christine used to be Sarah from the Bible. Okay, so if you know the book of Genesis. Okay, so and it's strange how my uncle Donald, he's my uncle-in-law, right? So, or whatever that's supposed to mean. He's married to my aunt, my mum's sister. And Donald Neil, that's his name. He looks kind of like Benjamin Netanyahu. He looks kind of like him. And obviously Donald Trump, well, he's the president of the United States of America. And what's really interesting? Donald Trump's wife, well, what's her name? Her name is Melania. Well, my ex-girlfriend, her name is Ania. It's spelled A-N-I-A. What else could I tell you? There's a lot of things I could tell you. My cousin, who's the son of Donald and Christine, he's called Andrew. And his wife is called Eva. It's spelled I-V-A. Obviously, I-V is the Roman numerals for 4. Andrew was King David. So the thing is I'm God, and I've come back, and I've been betrayed by many people that, people who read the Bible, people who go to church, or what they call churches, whatever, right? They think, oh, Mary's nice, King David is cool, and Abraham and Sarah and blah 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 blah. But they don't understand that actually those people they're really my enemies. They've become my enemies. And it's the same with Paul. Paul's another one. So, if you don't believe, look at the Catholic Church. Who do they worship? They worship Mary. That's who they really worship. So, anyway, now that if you watch old videos I've made, I've gone into a lot of detail. Anyways, let me do another reading for you. Or should I do oracle cards? Okay. Let me get some oracle cards. What's the T? What's the T? Okay. So, I've got this Fire Witch Tarot deck. So, Christy Thompson. Okay, so what's that? Okay. So that says an offer. Okay? An offer. So it's, it's a drink of alcohol or something. But basically, it's an offer. I've made you an offer, haven't I? Is that not what I just made you an offer, didn't I? I said, do you want to be my empress? I'm the emperor. You can be my empress if you want to be. Okay? Maybe you think like, okay, maybe you don't go to church, maybe you don't, you don't say that you believe in Jesus Christ or anything like that. So why is it I'm asking you to be my empress? Well, the fact is that people go to buildings they call churches, but that doesn't mean that they are of my spirit necessarily. A lot of them aren't. And the thing is that I feel like, you hear my voice. We're having a communication with each other through videos, or you're making videos and you're talking to me in a kind way, in a loving way. So this is why these cards are coming out. I saw on the bottom of the deck, it's not there anymore because I shuffled it. It was the, can I find it? It said, moving on, thank you, next. But, what that means, well, because obviously it's the bottom, right? Yeah, it was on the bottom of the deck, okay? This is the thing, right? Because you have to understand that the butt is magic. It's the, why do you think Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed? Because the butt is a magic hole. Okay? So I won't go into, I've explained a lot in old videos. In fact, I've actually got a video where I explain all the tarot cards. It's a very old, it's probably a year or two old now, but it's, it's worth watching. Obviously I'm always learning new things, but it's still relevant. How did I find out all the really dark meanings of the cards? Well, I remember one time I I was doing 78 card tarot readings, and I remember one day I did like 30 hours of 78. I was just literally just doing 78 card readings again and again. I was doing them every 10 minutes. And I did it for about 30 hours straight. And I did it for loads and loads of people, celebrities. I was basically just trying to figure out what everyone's doing, and it clicked in my head, you know. I was like, oh right, so that's what the cards are really talking about. And I can see how, you know, people are trying to use it for sex magic and witchcraft. And I mean, think about it, you know, you got the Ace of Cups, okay? So, I mean, in French or Italian, ace is well, it's spelled something like ass or asso. And you know, the thing is that, you know, well, you know, it's the, you know what an enema is, right? Have you heard of the Enuma Elish, which I think is the Babylonian creation epic? Yeah, Enuma Elish. Well, it's very similar to enema. Ace of Cups is, well, yeah, people do sex magic, you see. So, you know, the cup's supposed to represent water, but technically a cup is a cup, you know what I mean? Well, there you go, Ace of Cups, right? Well, it's an alcoholic beverage. This is the thing, when I was younger, I was an alcoholic. You know, when I was younger, I used to drink a lot. But why would I drink? That's the thing, because people have called alcohol, you know, strong alcohol, they call it spirit. And so, you know, people are constantly trying to fight me with alcohol. You understand? Like, it's used as a magic potion. I don't really drink very much anymore, but I basically don't drink at all. I mean, I usually just have a little bit of whiskey, like, or, you know, a beer, like once a week or twice a week maybe. That's about it, really. I had a very crazy upbringing with a very crazy mother. Oh, by the way, her name was Fiona. Fee was what everyone called her. And obviously I'm male. So this is the thing, right? It goes, you know, like I said, you know, the world keeps trying to basically say that I'm a woman. I'm not a woman. I'm female in the sense that my biological mom was called Fiona. Okay, she died of cancer. She died on the 24th of July. You know, that's 24/7. She died when she was 57 years old. And she was born on the 7th of May, a Taurus. And the thing is, Taurus, okay, is associated with the Hierophant. And obviously the Hierophant is associated with the High Priest. And, you know, depending what tarot deck you use, you know, it could be called the Pope, it could be called the Hierophant. You know, the Hierophant, that name comes from the cult of Demeter. You know, it's Demeter. So, I mean, that's the thing about sodomy, is that it creates tears. It's a magic thing. It's a sex magic thing. Sorry if I'm being, you know, I don't mean to be overly graphic, but, you know, I have to mention it because it's relevant. And, you know, I want you to understand what it is I'm saying. So we got here thief, robbed, loss, theft, physical or emotional. Okay, get another card here. Giving money. well, this is the thing. Obviously, I'm going to send you money in the hopes that you watch this video. I haven't worked for. I haven't had a job since 2021 because I've got lots of money, basically. So. Quite a nice watch here. Got my see that? It's yeah, I spent about 13 grand on watches. Ooh, whoopsie. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on watches. Oh, here's an interesting card that flew out. Broke ass. Now, this is an interesting thing, right? Because, you know, people think broke ass, but what does that, you know, people think that means you got no money. But read the words. What does it say? Broke ass. What's that got to do with money? All right? If you got a broken arsehole, you got a broken arsehole. You mean, do you know what I'm saying? What's that got to do with money? So this is saying, you know, an offer, thief, giving money, broke ass. So, perhaps you know what that means. Oh, look on the bottom, we got kissing ass. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, I got a bunch of cards flew out here. We got wasting time, stuck, no changes, limited, nightmares, idle, and Queen Rising. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, you're just tarot readers. What they do is they talk about me, and they make money from talking about me. I have 63 subscribers on YouTube at the moment. I did have 65, but 2 of them have left recently, strangely enough. I think they got freaked out. But the fact is that most of them are local people who hate me. You know, people who've decided to spy on me and hound me, harass me, annoy me. That type of thing. Or people that I used to know when I was younger. So that's the thing, right? You know, if you want to be a star, you have to do it with me. Okay? Because you can't do it without me. It's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, think about it. You're talking to me, you're talking about me in all the videos you make. You know, I'm the wavelength you want to be connected to. You know, you're tuning into my frequency. You're the one getting paid for that. So, you know, I made an offer to you. You know, I'll send you some money. I hope you watch the video. If you don't, well, you know, how else can I get in contact with you? You know, I've tried reaching out to people before and I haven't had any luck. With those people, I'm hoping you will be different and you'll pay attention to me. So, how did I figure out that I'm God? Maybe you're wondering that. Well, I quit my job in IT. I used to be a network engineer working at the NHS. I quit that job, I think, 2016. And for a couple of years, I was trying to trade Bitcoin, and I was trying to survive on my own. Which I actually, after 3 years, I ran out of money, and then I had to come live here. I came to live in Bristol. I used to live in Brighton, but I live in Bristol now. Well, I live in West-super-Mare now. Excuse me. So, where was I going with this? Hurry up. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I was trying to survive. Yeah. So how did I figure out that I'm God? Well, when I separated myself from people and I went, let's call it hermit mode, it stopped people from pulling on my energy, because I wasn't in, I removed myself from their environment. So I was staying at home all the time. And then, people started to, I just one day, I think, I was watching YouTube, and I just thought, it's like these people are watching me. All of a sudden, I just felt this, like someone's hacked into my computer or my phone. They're looking at me through my cameras. They know everything I'm doing. They won't stop. It's like everyone's attacking me, and I'm like, whoa. Really freaked me out. And then I got attacked by demons. They physically attacked me. I mean, they're invisible ghosts that were assaulting me. Did you see? Anyway, whatever. They attacked me. And the thing is, I realized how powerful I am. When I post things on Facebook, I cause all sorts of crazy events to happen in the world. I'm talking, all the news headlines, war, earthquakes, tsunamis. I mean, it's because the world's in a battle with me. These things get triggered. What happened on 9/11, the World Trade Center attack. Well, I'm connected to that. I'm connected to all these crazy things. I've explained it so many times in so many videos. I've got so many videos that are 4 or 5 hours long. I don't really want to make this video 4 or 5 hours long, because I want you to watch it from start to finish. Obviously, if I make a 4 or 5 hour long video, you might look at it and think, no way am I watching that, blah, 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 blah. So I'll try to keep it under an hour and a half. So let me try another deck here, okay? Let me try another deck. I've got What's the News? Or yeah, let me try What's the News. Go on, get a couple cards from this. privileged flaunter? Well, yeah, I don't know. It's a picture of a woman. They didn't. I don't think they managed to spell privilege properly, but whatever. Privilege end. Very witchy. Very, very witchy. Yeah. Oh, menstrual blood love spell. Well, this is the thing. The thing about menstrual blood is that, well, I mean, think about it, right? You know, Jesus was called the Lion of the tribe of Judah, right? And obviously a cat is called a pussy. Do you understand how everything goes wrong? How everyone's gone completely nuts? Yeah. It's word magic. People use word magic. If you study the English language, you'll notice a lot of strange things. I've got 2 cards here. I'll take them. Yeah, directing energy towards the masculine, and then venting about you. And then we got, y'all figured it out. So, you know, what did I say? You know, I've told you that, you know, tarot readers, they talk about me. You know, privileged or privilege end, flaunter, menstrual blood love spell, directing energy towards the masculine, venting about you, y'all figured it out. Well, you know, it's you know, you don't have to take it lit, you know, venting, you know, well, talking about whatever, right? I mean, obviously, air comes out of your mouth, it's a vent. Do you know what I mean? Directing energy towards the masculine. I mean, this is the thing, because, you know, it's all about, when people reflect me, there's an energy transfer happening. I mean, Jesus Christ said to people, said, first you must deny yourself. I mean, that's the thing, right? Because people think, okay, you know, people think of Jesus is the Son and God is the Father, and I mean, just look at the word Father. You know, it reads like fat her. Yeah, I mean, why do you think there's so many fat women in the world? Think about that for a second. But, you know, Jesus said, first you must deny yourself. Well, Jesus claimed to be the Son of the Father. But the thing is, I am Jesus, I am the Father. I mean, I did say to people, I said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. That's what Jesus Christ said. He said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Okay? You know, this is... I'm just trying to... You know, this is the thing. When people reflect me... When people reflect me, it creates a energy transfer. You know, the thing is that Christians, you know, they're supposed to give the glory to God. Yeah? You know, there's like a feedback loop. But the world doesn't love me, so they don't, you know, they steal the energy and they run away. They try to take it for themselves. You know, they want to run away with it. And obviously it's my job to stop them from doing that. Okay? got another deck here. Try this one. Okay, so this is the Truth Rising Fire Witch Tarot deck. Okay, so we got Wake Up. Okay, there's the, looks like a butterfly froth on top of a cup of coffee, black coffee. Yeah, so it says, wake up, someone's about to receive a rude awakening. Energy vampire. Okay, this person is draining your energy. So think about it, when, Jesus said to people, don't call anyone else Father except your Father in heaven. Abba, Father. Okay? Abba. Yeah, that's I'm Abba. Okay? I was Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is associated with my past. It's what's behind me, in a sense, in terms of it's the past. That's the thing, right? Because this is how magic works. Because what's behind you is your butt, and the butt is in your past. Do you understand? Why do you think those the the films Back to the Future, Back to the Future, two. What does two mean? Well, people go to the toilet. Yeah. How do you spell toilet? It's TOILET. 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 Or toil et. You understand how weird that is? I mean, and obviously, toilet seat. See, eat. Toilet seat. Where does it... It's crazy stuff. I'm sorry it sounds... But it is the way it is, okay? I'm sorry. So wake up. It says here, wake up, energy vampire. Okay? Just understand, you need... If you acknowledge who I am, if you acknowledge that I'm God, well, that it breaks the curse. Do you understand? So, this is the thing, people don't acknowledge me, and that's because all they want to do is be an energy vampire. But if they understand who I am, that curse, it gets broken, because it's like that person will say, they'll realize that they're not God, and that I'm God, and so that creates a it's a positive thing. People who want to be energy vampires, people who keep trying to cast spells, people who use moon magic, well, I'm stopping that from happening. Okay, I mean, I'm going through. This is what I do. I'm trying to stop people from doing it, and I will stop people from doing it. So this is your wake up call to this is your wake up call. Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. If You need to make some wise decisions. I'm suggesting you make a wise decision. Okay? Yeah, basically. Well, I'm God. I hold the keys to heaven and hell. I choose where people go. Okay? It's not you, is it? It's not you. It's me. So, where do you want to go? I'm offering you something that you really, well, do you believe that you deserve it? Do you believe you deserve it? Well, anyway, you have responsibilities. It's your choice. You can choose what you want to do. It's one way or the other. I like you. But you have to make your choice, okay? Excuse me. It's probably going to take me a few months, 3 or 4 months to, yeah, something like that, to get myself ready. Yeah. It's going to take me a while. It's not going to, I'm not expecting to be ready next week or next month. It's going to take me 3 or 4 months. I need to exercise. I need to quit smoking. I need to tidy my house. And people are still, the thing is, people still do what they do. I still have a world of people I have to deal with in one way or another. So, what I'm saying is, get to know me. Be brave. You've got a chance. There's a once in a lifetime chance. Do you want to live forever? You can choose. Wait, you get to choose, okay? I know that might be a bit. I know this video might be a bit shocking to you. Or you should be shocked. Oh, she-devil. She-devil, malicious or spiteful woman. Yeah, there's a lot of them in this world. Yeah. Well, this is the thing, what is this card talking about? I think a lot of people, they think I'm like a demon or a devil or I am Satan or something. Well, in a sense, yes, I am. Look at the word Satan, okay? I'm sat on my ass. I'm sat on my anus. Look at the word anus is spelled A-N-U-S, and us. It's a magic thing. So, you know, you know, I created the universe. You know, where does Earth come from then? Where does Earth come from? I'm God. Where does it come from? Do you get what I'm saying? You know the story of when, you know, Moses saw the back of God. You know, I said to Moses, I said, nobody can see my face and live. Well, it's interesting because people like to say that I'm a nobody. I'm also a Scorpio, and I'm associated with the Death card in tarot. You're aware of that, obviously. Okay, so we got Diva. Okay, Diva. Set up. Someone's being set up. So, okay, look, I haven't explained this to you yet, but I've explained it in lots of videos. Aaliyah Dana Houghton, she died in a plane crash. She was the singer who died in a plane crash. The 25th of August, 2001, which is obviously right before 9/11. She died when she was 22 years old. Aaliyah Dana Houghton was Mary, the Virgin Mary. And she, I mean, that's the thing, you know, the Catholic Church, I mean, you know, it's called the Catholic Church, the Catholic Church. I mean, obviously a cat is called a pussycat, right? You know, they like to say that Mary's the mother of God, Mary created God, you know, Mary created Jesus, blah, 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 blah. That's witchcraft, okay? They have pagan rituals, they do all that kind of stuff. You know, it's the most popular religion in the world for a reason, okay? So, on the front of my body is the ghost of Mary, or Aaliyah Dana Houghton, okay? We're in the 69 configuration. Moses, who's Archangel Michael, he's behind me. So I'm sort of in this, I'm having sensations behind me and then sensations in front of me, if that makes sense, okay? You know, it has to do with sex magic, you know. Aaliyah, she's trying to pass herself off as me. She's trying to pretend that she's me. And Moses, he's protecting me. So, you know, this is saying, wake up, energy vampire, she-devil, diva, setup. Okay? So, I noticed in your last video, you were singing. You have a nice singing voice, by the way. You know, a lot of people, they like to think that Aaliyah Dana Houghton, you know, they say things like, oh, she's an angel and all that kind of stuff. My understanding is actually she is she is the angel called Gabriel. You know, a lot of people think, oh, Gabriel's a man. Well, that's what it was said. Yeah, it's complicated. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Did I mention that my mum, who died, she was a lesbian? I used to live in Brighton, the gay capital of the UK. When I was a teenager, I used to go to gay bars. I don't really consider myself bisexual, but, well, I am, well, in a way, sort of. But women are who I'm looking for. I'm looking for a woman. Okay. So on the bottom of the deck, it says single woman, not the committed type. Whatever that's supposed to mean, but I don't know how many, boyfriends you've had, or I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried to find out. I could try to find out if I wanted to. I'll tell you a story. When I was 16 years old, I used to have a girlfriend called Europa. And I was with her for about 3 years. When I met her, she was 32 years old. She was twice my age. And I don't know if you've ever heard, the story in Roman mythology, Greek mythology, about Zeus. And, he transforms himself into a bull. And he goes off with a woman called Europa. Europa means Europe. See, that's magic. That what happened. This is the thing, that when I interact with the world does these sorts of things to me in order to steal my power. And I have to protect myself from those people. Okay? Excuse me 1 second. I need to get a drink. Okay, I'm back now. So, I'm gonna do maybe a couple more readings, and then I'll probably end the video because it's getting a bit long now. Should I start a new reading? Yeah, go on then. So, anything else? Should I use the prism? Yeah, go on. Let's use the prism. Okay. So, it's a nice basic deck, the prism deck. Stop. Stop smoking? Stop what? Well, the last cards were, about energy vampire. It was talking about energy vampirism, that sort of thing, right? The thief card came out, all that sort of stuff. So I think really what this is saying is that what you're doing with your channel, you have to stop making, I would suggest you stop making zodiac sign readings. Because the zodiac, all that's about, it's magic. Okay, You have astrology and you have tarot. All it is spell work. It's spell work on top of spell work on top of spell work on top of spell work. The thing is, I'm the light of the world. I'm the sun. I'm God. I created the universe. I created it all. I created you. People want to set themselves up. Everyone wants to have their star sign. Everyone wants to have star power. That's against the rules. Okay? I mean, that is, that's not how people are trying to steal power through spell work. Okay? So, I'm saying that you need to stop doing things the way you're doing things. You need to acknowledge who I am, basically. Okay? How do you want to go about that? Well, I don't know. I mean, you could, if you want to publicly acknowledge me, I'm not against that. If you need help from me, I can help you. If there's, if you're going to be my empress, well, I'll help you financially. I've got loads of money. How much? Quite a lot. More than 500,000. Okay, more like 1 million. Get in there. So I'm doing okay for now. In the future, well, I expect to be the richest guy on planet Earth. So if you want to be my empress, that's, obviously there'll be plenty of money. So, but no need to worry about money ever again. Okay. Ideation. Okay, ideation. So stop ideation. Okay, what's the definition of ideation? Can I have a look? I think I should have a look. My vocabulary is terrible, by the way. I don't read very much. It's very strange that, isn't it? I mean, I'm God, but I don't like to read very much. Oh, hang on a second. Got rubbish all over my keyboard. Ideation. Okay, so ideation, the faculty or capacity of the mind for forming ideas, the exercise of this capacity, the act of the mind by which objects of sense are apprehended and retained as objects of thought. So, just be mindful of, the messages that you're in, the ideas, where are they coming from? Who's talking to you? What's that all about? What are you saying in your YouTube videos? This is the thing, you put out videos for all these zodiac signs, and you're separating out. This is the thing. People, tarot readers, they take my life like it's a pizza and then cut it into loads of slices and then hand it out to everybody, and I get left with nothing, or I get one slice of the pizza. That's my energy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you gotta, look at it from that. That's the best way I can explain it. Really, you gotta, if you're gonna, don't cause me problems. Okay, is what I'm saying. I'm God. You can choose to do things your way, or you can choose to do things with me. It's your choice. Okay. I can't force you. Although I guess you could say the fact that, well, if you want eternal life, then I'm the only way you can get it. So you might say that's me forcing you. I suppose it is in a kind of a way. Yeah. Rejection. Okay, rejection. So ideation, rejection, and then we got pain. Okay, so maybe that means something. Maybe you understand that. So it says stop, ideation, rejection, pain. So, this is the thing. When you put out videos, and you're telling people all these, you're saying Sagittarius this or Taurus that and Scorpio this and Libra that and blah blah blah. I mean, think about it. Libra is associated with justice. So if I'm Scorpio, I'm associated with death. So, vengeance is mine. I'm God. I need all those slices of, I need all that, I need all those pieces, But the thing is, the world is trying to stop me by using spells, magic. Okay? Be aware of what's happening. I'm trying my best to explain it to you. So, okay, I'll take this card. And then we got Ghost. So it says here, so this comes after the Pain card. It says Ghost. Okay. And then we have Fear. Okay, so Ghost and Fear. It's interesting because my mum, her name was Fee. Fear, it says Fee-R. Fear. Okay, and then we got the, whatever that is, Isolation, Sadness. So I'm very, very isolated. And the interesting thing, my moon sign is Virgo. And Virgo is associated with the Hermit. So Scorpio is my sun sign. Virgo is my moon sign. My rising sign is Cancer. Yeah. Anyways. I haven't figured out what sign you are yet. I thought maybe... if I had to say... Is it Aquarius? Maybe it's Aquarius? I don't know. Anyways. You need to... don't be afraid. Well, you should fear me, but I don't want you to be, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying, I don't want you to be scared of me, really. I mean, I want you to, I just want you to accept me, okay? I guess that's the thing I haven't really addressed. I mean, I've offered, do you want to be my empress? Well, obviously that involves certain things. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know how you feel about me. Get to know me. I've made you an offer. I don't want to sit in this chair for the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 17 hours a day. I don't want to do that. You know, I want to go outside. I want to get some fresh air. I want to walk around. You know, I want to get some exercise. I want to look after my health. You know, I want to lose weight. I want to feel good in my body. How am I going to do that if everyone's fighting me? If everyone's casting spell work at me all the time? I can't even clean my house without people trying to prevent me from doing that with witchcraft. You know what grime music is, don't you? You heard of that? Yeah? Anyways, look, let me go back to these cards, okay? So stop, ideation, rejection, pain, ghost, fear, isolation, sadness. So it's saying here fear, isolation, sadness. Well, how could I interpret that? Well, I'm isolated, I'm sad, I'm unhappy. You know, you talk about my story, as a lot of people do. You know, what's going to happen to the, you know, it's saying here, you know, well, fear, ghost, says ghost, fear, isolation, sadness. So, you know, I am God, I'm the Holy Spirit, I'm Father. Okay? I was Jesus Christ. You know, maybe I'll mention this to you. You know, Islam, you know, well, Jesus was the Lamb, right? Well, why is Islam called Islam? It's word magic. You know, that's a very good example. It just, the idea popped into my head. I just thought I'd mention it. But, you know, the fact is isolation and sadness. You know, look, without me, you won't be happy. You know, you seem like the kind of lady that would, you know, you seem like a lady, and you seem like a nice person, is what I'm saying. People wonder why I smoke. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons, actually. My mum was a smoker. She did a lot of things. Drugs, alcohol. Yeah, she was totally crazy. But anyway, you know, it says here fear, isolation, and sadness. Well, this is the thing. You know, I'm isolated, I'm sad. You know, I have to get justice. You know, what I've gone through, you know, the isolation and sadness that I've had. Well, people, you know, in the world, you know, they're effing around and partying and doing anything that they want to do. Well, that's coming to an end. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, well, coming to an end. Obviously, people might, you know, a demon might interpret that slightly differently. Yeah, they might think, oh, well, God's given the green light to just do sodomy. No, that's not what I'm saying. You see how words can get twisted so easily? You know, people keep doing sex magic when I'm trying to get them to behave and to listen to me. And, you know, people think that they can just keep doing what they want to do, but, you know, there's a war in Russia and Ukraine, there's a war, you know, there are wars, there's the threat of war all over the place. The economy is a problem, disease, it's looking pretty bad. It's not looking good, is it, for the world? The world is falling apart. I'm the only way to fix the world will not survive without me. The world, people of the world, are not going to survive without me. You know the story of the serpent on the pole? Perhaps you know it. There was the time when the Israelites, they were in the wilderness, and there were these snakes, they're called vipers, and they were biting the Israelites, and they were dying. And I told Moses, put a bronze serpent on a pole, and anytime that an Israelite is bitten by a snake, they are to look at the serpent on the pole, and they will live. Well, that is very much how the situation is. So I need your attention, and I need other people's attention. Well, it's not so much that I need their attention. It's not that I need your attention. I would like your attention. It's really that you need my attention. You need to be looking at me. You need to be listening to me. Because without me, your future is not going to look good. Your future is, without me, you don't have a future, basically, is what I'm saying. I am God. That's how it is. I can't... How else can I put it? People like to say that I'm a deranged lunatic. And at the same time, there's bad news story after bad news story, and it's all connected with me. It's all connected with the things I post on Facebook and the things I say in my videos. Because the world won't stop. It has to reflect me to steal my power. You see, the world, that's how they steal my power. That's how they try to steal my power, is by reflecting my daily life. The things I do, the things I share on Facebook, the things I say in my YouTube videos. Without me, I'm the source of all power. That's the thing. I'm the source of all power. I am the tree of life. I'm the fountain of living waters. Without me, there is no life. So, think carefully about what you want to do. Illumination. That's on the bottom of the deck. So this is the thing. In magic, in the tarot deck, so you have the moon, there's the star, the moon, and the sun. The part of the body. Jesus once said, the eye, or the eyes, is the lamp. The eye is the lamp of the body. Isn't it interesting how the word lamb is in lamp? But the thing is that people talk about the third eye, and it's all connected with the anus, basically. That's the thing, right? You know what feces are, right? Well, my mom who's dead, her name was Fee. Yeah? Fee. For 30 something years, She used to see me. I used to see her. It's magic. It's it's gross, yeah, whatever. But it sounds bonkers, but it's the truth. My butt is my throne, and it never leaves me. My throne is always attached to me. Do you understand? My throne is my butt, basically. Yeah. If you're not aware, okay, so the crucifixion of Jesus is associated with Sodom and Egypt. Go read Revelation chapter 11, okay? Sodom is associated with sodomy, and Egypt is associated with bondage, okay? That's why people have their obsessions. It's all about mimicking, impersonating, people say, oh, when's the second coming of Jesus gonna happen? Well, I'm here. I've been here for 38 years. But you see, the number 2 is associated with the butt. Okay? Hopefully you can figure that one out for yourself. Yeah. So, the thing is, a lot of people, they think, oh, Jesus, God is perfect, wouldn't sin, doesn't sin. I was Jesus. I showed people how to be perfect. Right? I did something I had to do then. Okay? People have to understand that I'm the priority. I'm God. I'm number one. There's so many people in the world who want to be number one. They want to be the star. They want to be the best. That's not how I'm God. I have to be number one. Isn't it interesting? I have to be number one. Well, I already told you what 2 is associated with. Jesus is my past. It's what's behind me. I'm the serpent on the pole. Okay? Moses, he's behind me. Hopefully you can figure that out. What I'm saying. Okay? You have to understand, people forget about Adam and Eve. Okay? It all begins, with the book of Genesis. It starts with the story of Adam and Eve and the fall and how they fell. What was it that caused them to fall? Well, sex magic, impersonating God. I mean, think about it. The serpent said to them, said to Eve, you will be like God. That's the thing. The world is full of people who want to be me. They are constantly mimicking, impersonating, pretending they're me, because they like the power that comes with it. Manifestation power. They want to manifest their dreams. That's my power. I gave people a path to follow, which was Jesus Christ. Okay? I gave them that path to follow. Excuse me. They were told, lay your treasures up in heaven. Okay? So, do you understand what I'm saying? You're not really a Christian, are you? You're not. Your name's Christy, yeah. But I do like you. And I hope you like me too. You have to make a decision. Okay? Okay, so let me grab a few more cards here. Movement. Surrender. Okay. Death. Magic. So, yeah, this is the thing, right? I was Jesus Christ. I died. I'm here again. I'm a Scorpio. I'm associated with the Death card. Yeah, people like to do things like death magic, don't they? But that's the thing. I'm death, basically. I'm the Grim Reaper, basically. I've come to collect. So, it says here, movement, surrender, death, magic. So, well, I could explain that in lots of different ways. What's your interpretation of those cards? What do you think? Then we've got passion. Passion. So, so maybe I should explain the Death card to you, okay? Because obviously a Scorpio has a sting in the tail. So, that's the thing, right? Because sodomy, it stings. And it's a form of death magic. Yeah? Because of the sting in the tail thing. Okay? The world is trying to ruin me, is trying to kill me off. But I'm too powerful. That's the thing. I'm not fighting. This is the thing. You look at tarot readers, you think, oh wow, they're all doing very well. You probably look at me, you think, wow, this guy's not doing very well. Yeah, I guess it's been a bit of a struggle. Yeah, it has. It definitely has. I'm still alive. I'm fighting almost an entire world of people. So, I'm doing pretty well. I could be doing worse. Yeah. So, magic, passion. I mean, that's the thing, right? Sodom is associated with death, isn't it? The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's an interesting thing, that, isn't it? Sodom and Gomorrah. SG. Well, my initials are GS, which stands for Grant Salvin. I don't have a middle name. Okay, so we've got sweetness. Sweetness. Consciousness. Frustration. Space. Anger. Rejection. Balance. So, it's an interesting balance is associated. Well, the scales. People call them the scales of justice. They're a balance. So, people. I guess you'd say Christians, they don't really expect me to be the way that I am. I'm here for vengeance. What better way to do it? I'm going to be, I'll be rich. I'm going to be getting what I want. People are going to be jealous of what I have. And to my enemies, I get to laugh in their faces. Basically, that's one way of looking at it, isn't it? Hopefully you can understand why that is the way it is. Hopefully you can see why I would do things that way. So, you can be of assistance if you choose to be. So let's go through these cards again. So, movement, surrender, death, magic, passion, sweetness, consciousness, frustration, space, anger, rejection, balance. So hopefully that means something to you. I could interpret that in many different ways. But don't want to make this video too long, so I'll finish off with a with another reading. Okay, so this is my Salvador Dali tarot deck, and I'll do another reading. Okay, we've got the Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups. So Ace of Wands, what's that mean? Well, I already told you what ace means. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, Ace of Wands, you know, it's fire, it's passion, it's will. But, you know, it sort of, it represents sodomy. It does. I mean, it's a sex magic card. You have to understand that. That's what it is. It can mean lots of different things. 10 of Cups. You know, I want the 10 of Cups, right? And, you know, that can be with you or without you. Okay? So, you can make your choice. I'm being sweet. I'm being polite to you, okay? I don't have to be. Okay, so we got the Page of Wands. Okay, Page of Wands. What's a Page of Wands? Well, it's you know, normally when I see someone who's a page, you know, if it's, for instance, if it's a, you know, a page is someone who's basic, not very good at whatever that thing is. Some people will say things like, "Oh, it's a message coming in," or whatever. You know, it could you know, it could be a child. It could be all kinds of things. I mean, the Bible is full of pages, right? There's lots of pages. You know, I have a Facebook page. I have a YouTube page. That sort of thing. You know, what's it talking about? I don't know. So the Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups, Page of Wands, okay, and then we got the 3 of Cups. Six of Cups. Now, Six of Cups is a really interesting card because it is really the only card in the tarot deck that depict, well, in the Rider-Waite deck, you know, it depicts children. So always be mindful of the fact there are children in the card, because the world does very evil things, and you have to make sure you don't miss the fact that there are children in the card. But Six of Cups, you know, it's a loving, caring connection. I think that's what it's talking about. Okay, and then we got the Queen of Wands. Okay, the Queen of Wands was the very first card that came out on the first reading, right? So it's talking about you. Queen of Cups. Okay. Okay, where's this going? Exactly 2 hours. Ooh. Anyway, Whoa. Oh. Oh, this is a naughty card. Can I... How do I... Okay. Well, it's the star card. Okay. So, yeah, Queen of Cups, the star. And then we got the Two of Cups. Two of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. And then we got the Ten of Wands. So this is the thing, you know, people think, what's the Ten of Wands? Well, sex. Basically. I mean, it's exhaustion. I mean, this is the thing. Look, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. The Ten of Wands. And what do people do? They have sex. Ten of Wands. Yeah, sex, 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 sex. You know, they're having pleasure, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And what's on the bottom of the deck? The Devil card. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. And then we got the Seven of Swords. So what's the Seven of Swords? I know you like to say, oh, well, don't judge the Seven of Swords. You don't know what they're doing with those swords. Yeah, maybe those are their swords or something, but... but, you know, it can, you know, well, maybe you're right. But maybe at the same time, you know, it's normally interpreted as the thief or betrayal. You know, if maybe someone was kidnapped, Seven of Swords. Yeah? That kind of thing, right? And then we got the High Priestess. And the Five of Wands. Yeah, so the Five of Wands, yeah. Ooh. And then we got the Two of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune. So what's that saying? That is saying, okay, so, you know, this is the Two of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Well, this is the thing, if you put out videos for, you know, every zodiac sign, and you're putting out different stories, and, you know, you're putting out video titles like, you will be successful, and, you know, people put out lots of videos titled like that, you know what I mean? Like, if this video finds you, or blah, 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 it's all spells against me. It's trying to trap me all the time. It's like, you know, people are trying to hold on to my victory all the time. They're trying to steal my trophy. And it's like, nope, I'll take that back. You know, it's mine. Okay? The victory is mine. Okay? So, Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, Page of Wands, Three of Cups, Six of Cups, Queen of Wands. So this is the thing, you know, I mean, if... Yeah, I mean, obviously you have a tarot channel. You know, the thing is, if you know, if you need to make a choice. You know, if you want to be a star, you need me. Okay? You have to do it with me. Basically. Okay? You know, I mean, I'm not, you know, you could do things a bit differently, is what I'm saying. Okay? In case you're wondering. So, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, the Star, Two of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. Well, Nine of Pentacles, I suppose that's me. Yeah. Ten of Wands. Well, yeah, I guess Ten of Wands. Yeah. So I think this is what this is saying, is that if you're with me, you know, the idea is that we have to, well, take over the world. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of putting people in their place. And, you know, all these, you know, it says here the so the Nine of Pentacles, so the Two of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords in this case is the people who are against me, God. Okay? We want to Ten of Wands them. We want to break their magic spells and their curses, expose them, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's the Seven of Swords, the High Priestess, who, you know, Five of Wands, that's battling. And, you know, there's the Two of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Because people keep twisting the story. They keep trying to steal my glory. They keep trying to walk away with my trophy, basically. They're trying to... They want to take what is mine. You know, they want to dictate fate and destiny by casting lots of spells and magic. And so what this is saying is, you know, we can work together to put that to an end, to stop that. Anyway, the video's been long enough. I don't want to make it any longer. So I will upload this and I'll send you a super chat with some money, and hopefully that gets your attention and I haven't completely wasted my time and money. And I hope to hear from you. Okay?